Good day to everybody and welcome to another episode of Muzz and the Chefs. How the hell did we end up here? Episode number 10.
Really, 10?
We got into double digits this week.
Holy shit.
And,
I knew I always was a 10 and I wasn't sure about you.
Yeah, right. So, I've done no fact checking. I've let the fact checking slip in a very serious
Oh my god. Who are you?
way.
What's happened? What's happened? You just don't care. 10 episodes in
You know
and you just
how
don't
much
give a
work
shit.
I've got to fucking do for this show after you leave? You come here an hour. For 1 hour, talk shit for an hour. I've spent another bloody 3 or 4 hours getting this thing ready.
I'll write the little blurbs and bring you alcohol.
Anyway. So, as usual, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a few more subscribers this week too, which is nice. We've got about 17 now. We're nearly at 20. Ooh.
Come on! You can be number 20. You can do it.
So, so subscribe, give us a like there and give us a share around. Press the little bell notification thing down there to the right, and you'll hear more of our rubbish in the future.
What was last week?
Aliens, UFOs and aliens.
Right. Nothing happened. Like we didn't get
week.
invaded.
No, it didn't get invaded. And has anyone died this week?
I don't know. I haven't been listening. Boris Johnson.
No one's died. Boris Johnson again. Boris Johnson. So on to this week's topic, which is yours.
Yes.
So I'm just dying in anticipation.
No, you're not. You're just glad sport's done and out of the way, and I don't have to listen to that bitching and moaning anymore.
Okay, so what do we got?
All right, so as I said, it's beforehand. I said it's going to be a very broad subject
Broad.
because I've been watching a lot of these prepper shows.
Oh, preppers. Yeah.
So I want to know what you think is going to, what their reality. What's going to be? Is it going to be we're going to run out of fuel? Is there going to be melting polar caps? Is it going to be a disease? Is it going to be a financial crisis? What is going to drive these people to the breakdown of society?
What's going to break them down? They're already there. That's the point.
No, but what do you think? Is it going to be the...
What do you think their motives are for becoming preppers in the first place?
They've all got different ones. Some of them go...
I don't understand the question. So, are you saying why are they doing it?
No, I'm asking you what you think is the most probable apocalyptic outcome. Is it going to be global warming? Is it going to
Climate
be
change.
a disease? Is it going to be a lack of food? What's it going to be? What's going to trigger that these people eventually go, I fucking told you so?
That is a very broad and interesting question.
I thought you'd like this one.
Oh, I'm a bit of a prepper myself to a point.
Star Wars figures don't count.
Hey, they can fetch a good $1.
But what will be the currency? There's so many questions.
There are. It's a good topic. I'll give you that one for this week. Yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the floor is yours.
I really don't. I haven't thought about it that much. Okay, I'm going to go down this road with this, and I've been thinking about this for a while, and I don't know if this is really what you want me to say.
I don't want you to say anything.
But
I want you to talk from the heart.
This is something I've been thinking about for a while. Now, I'm very, very much interested in ancient cultures and the ancient world and things like that, and how much of that and that history has been lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We've got dumber. We're much, much dumber.
Yeah.
The average human's much stupider than we were.
Oh, I don't know about that, but when I look at it and I think, well, how was the only way... I'm talking about ancient cultures here. I'm not talking about Renaissance. I'm not talking about the Dark Ages and stuff like that. I'm talking about...
Egypt.
Egypt and Greece and Rome and, Mayans and, Celts, although Celts didn't really have technically, they were very oral in their tradition.
Shanakis.
Yeah, very oral. It's very similar to the Indigenous Australians as well. Very oral tradition. They didn't write so much down. I'm getting to my point here in a moment.
I know. And you want...
Okay, my point is, those cultures had a system of writing, and they built some amazing structures and did some amazing things for the supposed technology they had at the time. Apart from hieroglyphics and some scrolls in ancient Egypt, we really don't know that much about them. So we mentioned a couple of episodes ago that we still don't know how they built the pyramids.
No, I know how they built them. You don't.
No, nobody knows.
I do.
Nobody actually knows.
I do.
Oh, aliens.
But
my point is,
aliens.
So this world that we're becoming, which this is totally a part of, being the digital reality that's been
Yes.
born in the last,
10 years?
15, 20, 30, 40 years maybe.
Why,
Particularly in the
why do you
last
have
10
to correct
years.
me? Why can't I just
No,
say,
no, no.
I said 10 years, and you
Yeah, but I'm
20,
trying to
30,
think of
40.
when computers were developed. That was quite some time ago. But really, it's become consumer level in the last probably 10, 20 years.
The birth of the mobile, the smartphone.
Yeah.
You can shoot a whole movie on a smartphone.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, if you're talented enough, not
So
us.
what's happening now is, what we had in the early days, we had floppy disks, and then we had, bigger disk drives, and we had thumb drives, and like 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte drives, things like that. But now what's happening, and it gives me the shit with my Mac over there, which we used to record, by the way, is that unless I turn it off, my documents will get uploaded to the cloud without even asking me to do it. And when I go back and try and reload a song, or if I reload a podcast, it's been uploaded to the cloud.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it drives me nuts. So my point is, if everything...
I don't know what your point is.
The point, I'm about to get to the point. The point is, if everything's being digitized, okay, everything is being digitized. Medical records, books, music... Our whole culture is becoming digitized. So that means
We're reliant on the one thing.
well, everything's going up to the cloud, air quotes. Everything's going up to the cloud. So what happens if the whole system goes down?
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So if we don't have power and we don't have internet and all that kind of everything that relies on
Electricity.
power, electricity in general, if electricity goes kaput, and for some reason, which I don't know what the reason would be, but if everything goes down, we've lost our information because it's all been put on a cloud. There's all been on hard drives that, archaeologists in 1,000 years' time can go, oh, look, this is a metal disc.
This is a bit of plastic. This is why these guys fucked up in the first place.
Yeah, and so my point is that everything goes up to the cloud, and if everything goes to shit, all their records are lost. At least the Egyptians and the Greeks and that had the...
wrote it on walls
to write it down.
Yeah.
In stone, and stone, that's why we have headstones. We carve into headstones, particularly granite, because it just lasts forever.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, it doesn't last forever, but it lasts a long time. Sandstone, not as much. Doesn't last
By the
as long.
time everybody that knows you is dead as well.
Yeah,
Who cares?
yeah. So that's kind of. See that Baron?
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Reverberation coming from the Baron up there.
Must be the bass in your voice. It's so deep.
Yes, yes, yeah, baby.
Barry White.
Barry White, who's ironically a black guy. So that if anything, that would be my concern.
So it'd be the electricity goes and we lose everything. We lose all the information we've got.
Well, yeah, that's my concern, because if you look at oral traditions like you're saying, like the Celts and indigenous cultures, and if it is an oral tradition, not written down. I know the Celts did have a written language as well. Ogham.
Ogham. Oh, well done.
But
I'm
I know
impressed.
a lot more about this than you think I do. So yeah, you have a lot of that kind of stuff. But I mean, essentially, it's an oral tradition, and once that's lost, and that's the problem. The Aboriginal, a lot of the Aboriginal dialects and language and stories is unless they're being written down or at least been passed down, they're going to lose it.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. So they're my concerns. Does that answer your question? Is that what you're after?
No, not really.
Not really, but that's my concern.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the planet is going to get fucked by the human condition.
Absolutely. There's no doubt
We're
about that.
completely going to fuck it. And I think it's going to be a disease. I think there's going to be something that comes out and just wipes out half of us. That's it.
Half.
Yeah.
So
at
this is
least
like
half.
The Stand.
Yes.
Like The Stand.
Yeah.
Stephen King.
But it's interesting because all these shows, these prepper shows, if you haven't seen them, go onto YouTube or go onto American
there's
TV
heaps.
anywhere.
Yeah, there's heaps of them.
And you see these people who look normal and act completely normal. And then in the backyard, they've dug a big hole. They've put a shipping container in the hole.
Yeah.
And there's one chute in, and the thing is full of food and water and fuel
But even,
and guns.
guns. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, see, the thing is there with that, if you're going to... You need to learn how to grow your own food.
Yeah, that's
Not just save
That's
it.
the end game. You have to be able to grow it.
Yeah.
So if it's radiation, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Although, this week I was reading... Did I send you that thing, the link?
You sent me a link and it said unavailable.
Okay,
So I couldn't
there's
read it.
people moving into places that are slightly radioactive to try and breed and survive, and like natural selection, and become immune to radiation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think they'll become immune. They might... mutate.
Well, this is how superheroes are born, isn't it? But this is the length that people are going to for this stuff, and you see these
I know.
American shows, and it's ridiculous. Like they've got warehouses and warehouses, and then they're armed to the teeth to protect what they think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to happen in our lifetime. It's just not going to happen.
I don't know. But well, I haven't seen Doomsday Preppers, but I did watch a few episodes of a show called America Unplugged. I think it's called. I was going to say Unearthed, but I think it's called Unplugged.
Oh,
America
it's off the
Unplugged.
grid.
Yeah, it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
It's basically a prepper show. And when I was watching it, I was going, "Fuck, that looks like a lot of work."
Well, it is because you give up everything. There's no electricity. There's no There's no running water. You have to have a river or a well, or you have to have a water source. That's the big thing in these shows.
It's interesting. Michelle and I were just talking about renewable energy just before you turned up about solar, because she said, "Do you think it's worth putting solar panels on the roof?" And at this stage, I don't think it is unless you've got batteries. But solar water, I would say.
Stick a big windmill on the roof.
Windmills, that's where I think it's better. I think turbines are much better because that's the same technology as power stations.
Especially if it's a massive storm that comes through and wipes us out.
But when we were at Glen Innes earlier this year, and after you guys left, when we went out to Inverell, there's on the mountains there on the way out there is I don't know how many there'd be, probably 30.
Big turbines. Yeah.
And when we were driving out to Inverell, 0 were turning. None were turning.
Was it windy?
I can't remember, but you think you'd have a bit more wind up there, up on the top of the mountain. Anyway, so we're sort of in Inverell for probably an hour and a half or whatever, and we turn around and come back, and on the way back, some of them were moving.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm all for that sort of stuff, but I just don't think it's viable at this point.
Well, all these they're talking about the polar caps melting.
Yes.
And Greenland last week lost 10 billion ton of ice in 24 hours. Yeah, it was enough water to cover Germany 7 meters deep. I'm thinking water turbines are the way to go.
Oh yeah, no, I think
if we're gonna have that much water and it's flowing,
I think the potential of the ocean generating electricity or power is way underrated. I think that's a good idea. If you could.
Thank you. So
I think you've brought that up before, actually.
Oh, the big river, but we won't go back down. We won't go down there today. We won't go down the big river today, I promise. But they all have different theories of how it's going to end.
Okay, we'll throw something because I don't know many of them.
All right. Financial collapse. So money becomes irrelevant. Mm-hmm. You can only trade what you've got. You've got to have all your stuff, and people are going to try and rob all your stuff.
Yep.
That's the one. Disease is the second one. It's this superbug or whatever is going to come in and wipe everybody out.
Well, even if you are a prepper, that's not going to help you.
Yeah, but they think they're
immune to it.
No. They're away from it because if it's not airborne and they're not in contact with all these people, if a disease kicks off, like they try
it depends how it's transmitted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the Ebola virus, they try to like. I'm going to say something really horrible right now, and it's going to be really, really horrible. And it's not because I'm horrible, but it's just the fact. The fact that it's in Africa, and it's just poor people dying. The rest of the Western world doesn't seem to give a fuck. As long as it's contained there.
That's typical.
But as long as it's contained there, that's fine.
Yeah, how's Ebola transmitted?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it has, from memory, and this is a fact check, which I actually may even do next week.
Oh, fuck off. Let's not.
I think that Ebola doesn't, like most viruses, doesn't last outside of the body for very long.
Well, it eats the body.
Yeah, but the virus itself. Because viruses need to have a host to survive. So once they're outside the body, just say, I don't know how it's transmitted, but just say somebody sneezes.
So like a parasite?
No, it's not a parasite, it's a virus.
Yeah, but I'm saying like a parasite has to live on another body.
Yeah, in a sense, I guess it's a parasite.
Jesus.
But it's not a parasite like a tick or something, is it?
I know. Jesus.
He hates being corrected. Anyway,
because I'm not wrong.
I don't know if a virus is technically considered a parasite. That's something to look up.
Okay.
So, but if you sneeze, say, on that table over there, maybe in an hour's time, if you have
they're
a virus, they don't take, unless they're picked up by another human.
Unless somebody puts their hand there.
Yeah, they die very, very quickly. And I think that's the thing with the Ebola. I think that's why it hasn't spread as horrible as it is, why it hasn't spread as
outside of Africa.
Yeah, outside of Africa.
Really.
Well, it's probably quarantine laws and things like that to stop it.
But if it had happened in America, or if it happened in Australia, or if it happened in England, or if it happened in Germany, there'd be a cure by now, I reckon.
It's always about who. It's all about serving number one.
But that's so we've gone virus, global financial collapse. The other one is all-out war. And the other one is that the planet finally tries to get rid of us.
Yeah, but okay, back to the war part. Isn't it most of these preppers are very anti-government? That's the feeling that I get from most of those shows. They're very anti-government, and it's like that's why they stock up. They stock up food. They stock up arms. They stock up everything. Stock up everything. And because they're more afraid of what the government's going to take away from them than a foreign power.
Yeah, they actually think their own government's going to turn on them. And you see, they've got whole communities. There's one, I think the show was called Living Off the Grid. And there's whole gated, armed communities. They don't pay tax. They don't register the cars.
Really?
Yeah, they don't do anything. They just buy guns, stock up on food.
Surprised the ATF hasn't been had them by now.
Waco. But yeah, they think their own government's going to turn. It's going to go to shit and the government's going to turn on them. Now,
that's a very American sentiment.
Do you think this apocalyptic?
I
had to think really hard how to say that. Do you think it's going to happen in our lifetime, or do you think we're going to sail through and the next generation or the generation after are fucked?
I don't think it's going to happen in our generation necessarily.
So then why are we prepping?
I'm not prepping.
You just said earlier you were a bit of a prepper.
Oh yeah, I think I like to be off grid because I don't like. It was like I was saying before. If you could generate, but they don't want you to do this. Well, certainly not companies like electric companies and water companies. They don't want you to be off grid.
No.
So a lot of people.
Then they don't make money.
A lot of people that I've seen, usually they're European or American, and they sort of say, "Oh, the government, you got to have a permit to collect rainwater." And in Australia, it's the opposite. You're encouraged. Because we're such a dry continent.
Because there's no water.
Because there is no water. So it's such a dry continent, we are encouraged to collect our own water and use it. But some other countries, they go, no, don't collect your own water. In Australia, they don't, condone. Condone, is that the right word? I don't know. But they don't suggest that you drink it.
Encourage.
Or encourage.
You to
that's
drink it.
That's what I want to think of. They encourage you to drink it and use it for, only
watering your plants.
Your plants, your car. Your washing machine, your toilet. So don't shower in it and don't drink it.
Yes,
basically, and that's so you don't get sick. I'm assuming. But a lot of other countries they aren't allowed to collect rainwater, and that's one of the unless they have a permit or whatever. That's a fact check, by the way. I could be making all that up.
And that would be such a surprise because that's never happened in here before.
No, never. So so I think it's good to collect your own. I think it's good to grow your own food if you can. I think it's good to collect your own water if you can. I would love to produce my own electricity. At this point, I think it's...
We'll get you a big hamster wheel.
Why don't we go there? You know that story, do you? Shout out to Josh.
Josh's theory was that all these people at gyms on treadmills and rowing machines, they should be hooked up.
No, that was your idea. The gyms
hooked up to electricity, and we could drive. We could fill.
That was your idea. No, Josh, when he was a little kid, he came up with an idea of we all because I think the scenario was what happens if the planet gets really hot and we all have to live underground and stuff like that. And I said, how would you generate electricity? It was all get a big.
I remember this now.
Put hamsters in wheels and get them. And I said, but what are you going to feed them with? And then you came up with the idea of
the gyms.
People going to the gym and Anytime Fitness and plugging that into the grid, which I think is actually not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea at all.
Not as good as the Big River, but
are we going to do this or not? Are we?
Or do you want to go down the Big River?
No, I don't particularly because it's going to make me look like an idiot. But if we want to go down this road,
that's going to make you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But living off the grid, I can see the advantages. I can see the massive disadvantages, like medicine, hospitals.
Oh yeah,
that sort of stuff.
I think everybody should strive to get off the grid to a point. I think it's good. It's good for the environment. It's good for the planet. I think it's good to get off the grid and collect your own water, and if you can generate your own electricity.
Shit in a hole.
They're great ideas. If you can, I hate the fucking term.
Are you going to say
reduce
hippie?
Your carbon footprint? I fucking hate that term. But if you can reduce the amount that you impact on the planet, I think that's a good thing.
So basically, it's 1970s hippies.
Yeah,
they were right.
But
you were saying the 1970s hippies were right. I'm not talking about the free love.
I don't know much about them. Get off. I don't know much about them, but it would be incredibly hard to live off grid. And when I was, I don't know, he was there for a long time, but there was a guy who used to live in the bush, just off Hexham there when I was growing up, and he lived completely off grid. He must have got money from somewhere, because often you'd see him just wander up, because there used to be a fruit shop there back in the day.
In Hexham. As opposed to just a traffic jam that it is
traffic jam or the McDonald's or the servo. And he used to live in the mangroves there.
I know, over the bridge. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think some of his structure is actually still there. He lived there for years by himself. He just died by himself one night. But you'd often see him with his bag. He'd just walk up to the fruit shop and buy fruit and then go back. But he'd be the only person I ever knew that kind of lived completely, not that I knew him well.
What was his name?
I don't know his name, but he lived completely. Yeah,
but he wasn't. He doesn't strike me as a doomsday prepper. He was just
no. And he was
just a mentally ill human being that just kind of went, I can't deal with the rest of you. Fuck off.
Yeah, probably just took himself away from society as much as he could. But actually, going back to the prepper thing for a moment, on that America Unplugged, the one that I watched, or a couple of the ones that I watched, the only one that was really, really self-sufficient was a guy who bought some land, and on the land it used to be a LPG, like a natural gas mine.
Okay.
And he did everything with the gas. It was just a constant supply of gas.
Okay.
So he used that for everything: his power, heating, cooking, everything.
Okay.
And he was one of the few that you went, that could work.
Yeah, but not everybody.
Well, it did work. But not everyone can
own a mine that's full of gas.
Yeah, exactly.
So we go back to the barter system.
Yeah.
You go, I've got a well. Do you want some water?
Yeah.
So,
sort of thing. But he was the only the ones that I thought would actually be able to survive. But not everyone can get their hands on
these shows.
Natural gas.
On these shows, the big question is always water and food.
Oh, of course.
How are you going to survive water and food? Water and food. So unless you've got a well or a river, not a big river. We are going to have to explain that one day.
Oh, all right.
I said one day, not
one
right
day,
now.
Okay. That's for a later time. Tune in later.
But that would relate to become like Australia needs to be okay. If you're going to produce scaremongering, all this foreign investment from Asian countries, one in particular,
mainly, I think that's the secret.
They're going they're worried about the food source in Australia because a lot of the food now gets exported to China. So you're going to have to buy stuff that was grown in Australia back from China.
That's just mental. I'd never get that.
But that's what's happening.
That's mental. That's crazy. Why do we do that? Because it's all about money.
It's because it's all about money.
Yeah, it's all about trade. Australia, a country like Australia should be fairly self-sufficient.
That's it. You should be completely self-sufficient.
I think we should be.
But
it could be, actually.
Do you think it could?
Oh, I think it could be, but it may weaken us in a different... Well, for certainly financially weaken us on a world market.
But if you're self-sufficient, you don't give a fuck about the world market.
Well, that's what I think too, but obviously other people don't think that way.
Oh, there's people...
Big investors,
yeah, but they're not concerned about survival and living the life. They're concerned about money.
I know.
So until society gets past the fact that money is not everything, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. There'll never be this free education, free health. As long as it's about money, it's never going to change. And don't say communist, because I'm saying no money at all. Just before we come in, he goes, "You're more communist than me." I'm going, "I'm not a communist.
You're way more socialist than I am."
I'm a dictator.
Yeah, dictator.
I'm a fascist.
Penis in the shape of a potato.
Absolutely.
Dictator. Actually, I was listening to, speaking of communists, I was listening to a podcast the other day with Bernie Sanders.
Mm.
And I didn't know much about Bernie Sanders.
Bernie's a good bloke.
I don't mind Bernie. He's all right. I listened to it, and the things that he said made a lot of sense to me. Not that it matters to me because I'm not American. But
I watched this show. There's a show called Planet America.
Planet?
Yeah, Planet America. It's on ABC, I think, or SBS. And they reckon Sanders won the pre-selection against Clinton, and the party changed it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I wouldn't surprise me.
This is because there is things where you see the people going, "Oh, Clinton won," and there's a girl standing behind
Hillary.
There's a girl standing behind them with a sign
Isn't it
going.
funny when you cross Clinton, you end up fucking dead. Who was that guy this
week?
Yeah,
they all die.
She's dodgy as
There's
fuck.
a sign behind going, "Bernie won."
Yeah.
And all they're going,
like
and the
Bernie.
winner is.
I didn't know much about him. As I said, until I listened to this podcast, I didn't know much about him. And after listening to him speak, he's for
so he's a communist Jew.
Universal healthcare. He's for all most things that Australians would agree with.
Yeah, I think Bernie is a good man. I think Bernie is a very good man.
And he isn't. He's not extreme. He's sensible. But he just got shafted by the Clintons or the Democratic Party.
The party shafted him.
Yeah, and these guys are good ideas. But I just don't. I think he's too sensible. I think that's his problem.
The fact that he's actually going to make a difference and make something happen.
Too sensible. It's like his policies are too sensible. You can't have something that's fucking sensible.
No. Look what they got.
You got to have insanity.
Look what they got in its place. Trump. Sensible.
Yeah. But some of the things that he was saying are exactly the same thing that Trump says. Let's put manufacturing back into America instead of exporting it all to China.
That's what we were just talking about. Self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Self-sufficient creates jobs, creates everything within a country. But you've got to look at it globally because that's where the money's made. Yeah. Even selling currency.
That's right. Yeah.
But that's something we'll never have to worry about, both of us.
What, money?
No, selling currency. Never going to have enough to sell or buy.
Thing on Facebook today, something Mel Gibson come out about cryptocurrency. I didn't read it. I sort of read a few headlines and just went...
Why would you read Mel Gibson thing? I saw something that I opened it and I went, nah. And then there was one with Mike Tyson going, you won't believe how much Mike Tyson's worth and how... And I went, nah.
Yeah.
Well,
but I don't know. It was all about cryptocurrency or something, how he makes so much money out of it.
Isn't that Bitcoin?
Bitcoin's one of them, yeah.
So... That's a long way. That's a long way from apocalyptic. I've been practicing that this morning. Apocalyptic. Yeah, it's tough to say.
Preppers. I could totally get into prepping myself.
Could you?
Absolutely. I'd love to live on a farm on the land and be, I'd love all that stuff. I would. It'd be great. I'd love it. It'd be brilliant.
Really?
I'd love it. I would love to live on a farm and have land and animals and...
What would you do with the animals? Because you're not going to eat them.
You'd have to eat them all.
Oh, favourite term of the month.
What is it?
I'm a flexitarian.
Flexitarian, that means you change.
I'm flexible. I can eat fish. I can eat chicken. I can eat...
So that's kind of akin to fluid gender.
It was on ABC.
Was it gender fluidity?
It was on the ABC News this morning because they were talking about...
Really?
they were talking about how we have to stop eating animals and start having a plant-based diet.
Well,
and this guy said, well, I'm a flexitarian.
Well, that was interesting. Another video I was listening to last night was talking about, the food pyramid.
Yes.
How it's just totally bollocks.
Yes.
The whole thing is bollocks. It's just all lobbyists got it to look like that.
Yes.
So the dairy industry, the wheat industry, the grain industry, they just lobbied to get theirs...
at the base.
The base. The thing where it really should be the other way around.
Well, the vegans and the environmentalists say we shouldn't be eating...
Meat.
Because we should be eating it, but we shouldn't be replacing it. So we should be getting rid of it. That's a good day, isn't it?
Didn't we do vegan?
Let's just eat all the cows on the farm.
Didn't we already do vegetarian?
Yeah, we did. And there's a gun thing too that came up today that I want to talk about before we finish. Actually, I'll do it right now.
All right.
51 places in this area were targeted by the police, 51 gun owners, and 44 had their guns taken away because they weren't secured.
Yeah, wow.
Because there's been a massive spike
in theft.
In gun theft.
Yeah.
Gun theft. Theft.
Yeah.
Which, if you were a
don't
prepper,
advertise it if you are.
Yeah.
If you're our owner, don't advertise the fact that you are.
No, they're the saying, but not only did they weren't advertising, the guns weren't secure. Anyway, that's completely sidetracked.
No, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
So the other apocalyptic. Yes, I've practiced now. I've had too many goes.
Apocalyptic.
Yeah, is the environment.
Apocalyptica. That was a movie by Mel Gibson too. Did you see that? That was good.
I don't particularly like Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a good movie.
No, I'm not a fan.
No,
No,
I don't mind him.
Well,
He's alright.
What'd be his best movie?
His best movie that he made himself or he starred in?
Either. I think 2.
There was one... Actually, no movie of his that I really, really liked. I can't think of the name of it right now. Oh... It was a little bit... a lot of his movies are quite conspiratorial. One of the things about Mel Gibson you'll notice, in most of his movies, he's a widower. Have you noticed that?
No.
Nearly every single movie he's in, he hasn't got a wife. See, it started with Mad Max. In Mad Max, his wife got killed.
Okay.
But you look at most of the movies that he's in. The Patriot, his wife died, or is dead.
Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon, his wife's dead. Yep. Most of the movies that he's in, he doesn't have a partner. His wife has always died or... disappeared or left, or I don't know, probably mostly likely died. But yeah, most of the movies he's in, he stars in, and Braveheart, She gets killed after he marries her. It's an ongoing theme in a Mel Gibson movie, except for the ones he doesn't, except for the Passion of the Christ, of course, which he wasn't in.
But I think that's a brilliant movie.
That was Jim Caviezel.
I think it's a great movie. I thought it was a brilliant movie.
You like that?
That scene where Jesus is getting flogged to fuck, and the devil's just walking around the outside. That's creepy as fuck. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, that scene is just.
Isn't it an angel carrying the devil as a baby?
I can't remember.
Isn't that the iconography that you're trying to get at?
It's fucked up.
Oh no, it's messed up in a serious way.
But I think it'll be massive floods.
Flooding.
Yeah, I think that's good. Polar melting.
So
whether you accept it or not, which I know you fucking don't, but that's
I'm
irrelevant.
skeptical. I'm skeptical of all that. I'm skeptical because I
just told you what happened. I told you exactly what happened this week.
Fucking hell, in the Middle Ages, they were growing grapes in England.
Yeah, but
because there was a medieval warm period. Did he get blamed on human-made global warming?
Yeah, but not.
I'm skeptical.
Not in the increase that's happened as of recently, because it's just gone. Because it went bum 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 bum, and now it's just gone.
It could be. I did look at
Could be aliens.
Could be aliens, but there's I can't remember the terms, and there's man-made, and then there's they call it proxy reasons for warming, for
proxy
global
reasons.
Proxy, not proxy.
Proxy reasons for warming.
Proxy. So there's what they consider man-made. Then there's environmental factors like the sun and things like that. So which they are still debating about. Actually, matter of fact.
Oh man, if you don't believe it, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, but it's happening, and we've put this carbon dioxide blanket around the planet, and it's got hotter.
When did An Inconvenient Truth come back? Go back to when that came out. And he was predicting that the world was going to end in 10 years, and that didn't happen, did it?
You see, this is what we're talking about. End of the world. This is what we're talking about today.
But I just think there's a lot of fucking hot air. Maybe they should shut their mouths and there wouldn't be so much fucking temperature increase.
Ooh. Wow. Kitty's got claws.
Especially fucking knob jockeys like fucking... And see, I don't mind people if they walk the walk. But what's that prick's name?
I don't know who you're talking about. David Attenborough.
Al Gore.
What about David Attenborough saying it last night?
Attenborough, yeah, Attenborough. But
he agrees.
I'm sure he does. But with Gore... His houses, burn. I don't know the figure, but a fucking shitload more, like 10 times more than the average American household in electricity. If you're gonna be an advocate for this shit, then fucking walk the walk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Do it.
Because
people are gonna turn around and go, "You're telling us to stop driving cars, burning electricity, blah 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 blah." But look at your fucking house. Look what you've jet setting around the world. Look at all the energy you burn at your house. Mm-hmm. It's like you need to.
Everybody needs to embrace it.
Well, it's easy to sit there and fucking talk, isn't it?
Well, you can talk all you like.
Really easy, as we found. In this room.
You can talk all you like, but as long as China, India, and America don't give a fuck,
that's right.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
Until those countries go, okay, I think there might be a problem here. There's no, because China doesn't give a fuck what you think about anything. Nope. Even this thing going on in Hong Kong, they don't give a shit what you think.
Thing in Hong Kong?
Oh, the protests in Hong Kong, you haven't seen it? There's 2 million people on the street, and it's been 21 days of protests. They shut down the airport this morning.
Oh, I haven't heard a murmur. What happened? What's it about?
Well, it started with an extradition bill. So Hong Kong tried to pass this extradition bill that if you were caught being a criminal in Hong Kong, they could transport you back to the mainland China.
Okay.
And people kind of went, hold on. So if China doesn't like us, they can jump up some charges, ship us back, and we just fucking disappear. So the demonstration started about that.
Sounds a bit like Stalinist Russia, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's pretty close. You'd now been a communist. So it got withdrawn, but the protests didn't stop, because now they think it's heading towards becoming an independent state. They think people are now protesting, so Hong Kong can become an independent state, because they say one country, two systems. They shut down the airport.
Yeah, wow.
Completely. One of the busiest airports in the world. They shut it down last night. And you see them, police using tear gas inside. Inside
what?
The underground, the train system, the airports, and it's a horrible situation. But eventually, China's just going to go, yeah, we've enough of that, and they'll send fucking tanks in, and Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, Tiananmen Square.
And because they don't care what the rest of the world thinks. They don't give a shit.
No, they don't.
And why should they?
Well, I don't know.
Do you give a shit what the Chinese think?
I'm a bit concerned about the amount of property in this country that's being sold to Chinese. And I know that sounds a bit xenophobic, but I'm not.
Sounds very xenophobic.
I do worry about it because then you get a lot of policymakers in government. Once you got land and you become a citizen and stuff like that, then you can make policy, and that's what worries me.
Okay.
That stuff. I've never done a racist bone in my body. I don't give a shit.
Would you like one?
But no, as I've always said to you, it's not the colour of your skin; it's the colour of your character.
Oh, that's so deep. You should write a song about that.
That's true. It's not about it's not how much melanin you got in your skin. It's about where your head is.
It's about where your melon is.
And where exactly. So yeah. So anyway, we've digressed from preppers there for a moment. I still it's an interesting topic.
So you think you could become one?
I think I don't know. I like the idea of being off grid. Yeah, I really do.
But not just off grid. It's going to the lengths of food, fuel. You're not going to keep fuel for 90 days because fuel goes off. So cars will be gone within 90 days of this thing happening.
I watched enough of these movies to know what's going on.
Do you?
I know,
So you need
end of the world movies.
You're going to need a horse.
War of the Worlds, and
Can you ride a horse?
Tomorrow. I've never ridden one. No. But yeah, it's those basic things, and I think, let's be a bit generationalist here, is that this current generation, the majority of them will be screwed.
Oh shit, yeah.
They can't fucking live for 5 minutes without Wi-Fi on.
Yeah.
It's like, at least I can chop wood, mow the lawn, fucking grow veggies, that kind of stuff. They don't even try.
No. Unless there's an app for it.
I'll admit, I do use the internet to learn a lot of things. Like if I want to learn how to, I don't know.
Play banjo.
Play the banjo, yeah, there's a good example. I just jump on there and go, oh yeah, that's how you do that, and blah, 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 blah.
Do that again with your hands?
Blah, 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 blah. You're not going to see it up there, though. Blah, 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 blah.
This is getting well out of hand today. I know it's called How the Hell Did We Get Here, but we've just been sidetracked so far today.
I'm trying to... I don't really know what answer you want. What
I want your opinions. I don't want your answers.
I don't think I've even got an opinion.
So, if the end of the world's coming, how do you think it's going to happen? I've given you a couple of different...
It's going to go really bad.
Lots of
people are going to die because
scenarios of what's going to cause it.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to cause it. I'm more interested in the result of what causes it.
Okay,
like the effects, not the cause. I'm more interested in
how to survive it.
Because people will turn on each other like in a heartbeat.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's happening.
And it's only people with guns and shit like that. I remember I won't mention the name, but I was having a chat to somebody, a friend, colleague of mine, and we were chatting about this kind of stuff. And he said the ones that'll survive the longest are the farmers, and that'll only be as long as their bullets last.
Yeah.
And, it's probably true.
I don't know, there's so many questions to it, and I just love the mentality. I can't...
Yeah, some kids can't even build a fire.
No.
Can't make a fire.
I tell you what, I couldn't start a fire without a cigarette lighter or matches. I couldn't do the whole...
Oh, yeah, that'd be difficult to do.
I couldn't do the whole twiddly sticky thing.
I'm sure you could eventually do it. So culturally sensitive.
That's exactly what it's called. In the book, it says twiddly stick thing. Or flint.
Flint, yeah, flint.
But I wouldn't. If I was out in the bush, I wouldn't know what rock was flint and what rock wasn't. That's like, would you?
No.
And if you're out there banging fucking stones together, you're starting to look like our ancestors.
Why do you think they got here?
The ancestors. I'm talking about monkeys.
Monkeys?
Yeah.
They don't bang rocks together.
I've seen monkeys crack nuts with rocks.
Oh, yeah. Birds do it too.
I don't give a fuck about the birds.
Orthanophobia.
Fuck off.
But no, I think humans will turn on each other massively quickly, and again, like you keep saying, we're our own worst enemies. So it's going to.
But it's a good thing for the planet if we turn on each other.
Good for the planet.
Yeah. Get rid of half of us.
Great thing for the planet.
If they get rid of
half, good for everybody else.
Half of us, and we've got no technology left. We've got no electricity. We're not burning fossil fuels. We're all out in the fucking scrub again, hunting, killing things, and eating them. And
the way nature intended.
Yeah, absolutely. fish, you know?
Coming from no, I'm not a vegetarian. Pescatarian.
Flexitarian.
I'm not a flexitarian either.
I'm officially going with that. I'm a flexitarian.
That's all right.
Sometimes I don't have to eat
alright.
meat. Sometimes I do.
Yeah. And I've said this before. I'm sure we've had this conversation before. Like, I think if everything did go to shit like that, I think I would probably start eating meat and stuff again.
Where would you go? If it was bang and you had to go now, where would you go?
Where would I go?
Yeah. So
Go and
say
hide.
There's a fire coming through here. There's people running around killing each other. Like, where would you go? What would you do?
I don't know. Well, I've got a gun.
You can't shoot fire.
I can shoot people though.
What?
I wouldn't though.
What?
by
Just
the
for
way.
fun? Just because they're burning to put them out of its
I
misery.
wouldn't Firearms Registry of Australia. I wouldn't.
But where would you go?
Huh?
Where would you go?
I have no idea. No idea. I think most people would stay in their homes for the moment. Yeah.
But if there's like this,
I
big
watch enough
firestorm-
zombie movies.
You got to stay in your house. Is that what it is?
Well,
But you see, that's based on a virus. That's
yeah. Well, maybe.
The zombie apocalypse is based on
Yeah.
the human race, half of them going mad from a virus.
Yeah.
So
Things like that never end up well. Nothing. It's not going to be good for anybody concerned.
but you don't think it's going to be in our lifetime?
No, I don't think so.
We're not going to live for too much longer. Like,
Who, you or me?
there's probably well, I've probably got about 40 years left. You've got probably about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, people would run to big structures, I reckon.
Such as
Only if you're in this area, what would be the biggest stone? The jail,
jail.
Maitland Jail, big
You've got
stone
to get in there
structure.
first.
Well, it's just an office door to kick in.
No, it's not.
There is.
There's massive doors out the front and bars to get in.
But trust me, if there's a
And
fire,
someone would
coming-
get there before you anyway. Someone already thought of it.
yeah. Well, we've just told everybody about it. So don't go there. It'll be very dangerous.
I think most people
We'll just burn.
I've missed this whole fireball thing. What happens?
I don't know.
A fireball.
Fireball's coming down the street and everybody's dying. What do you do?
Okay, so yeah, not
You got to fly. You
not
gotta
from
just
other
fly it.
people.
No.
What's the fireball cause from?
A meteorite.
If a meteorite hits, we're all fucked.
Oh my god! How many fucking scenarios can I do here?
I still don't know what you want me to say.
Why do you do this to me every time? You go, what do you mean to say? I don't want you to say anything. I want you to tell me how you feel and what you think.
I've told you what I feel.
What do you feel? But you see, my problem is I don't listen when you talk.
Yes, I know. I've noticed, and vice versa.
I know. So I think, the human condition will eventually fuck the planet, and floods, perhaps either that or somebody will bomb the Middle East, and then we're all fucked.
What do you mean bomb the Middle East?
Somebody will
UK?
bomb. Yeah, somebody will go Iran or Iraq or Syria or somebody will.
Who's bombing who?
I don't know. Maybe the Koreans will go, fuck it, let's bomb Israel. I don't know. You don't know. Somebody's going to do that, and that's
Yeah,
where.
but is that going to affect the rest of the world straight away?
Absolutely. Where do all our fuel come from?
Yeah, well, but
Which generates electricity.
yeah,
which
but our
powers
fuel
cars.
doesn't come from the Middle East. The majority of our fuel comes from Asia to Australia. Like it's all based. The price is all still based on the OPEC and all that sort of stuff. But the majority of the fuel that's imported into Australia doesn't come from the Middle East.
But there'd be a huge shortage. Immediately there'd be a huge shortage.
Oh, there would be. There's a massive oil reserve in Cooper Pedy in Australia.
Okay.
It just hasn't even been touched yet. They're just saving it for a rainy day or something, I think. I don't know, but apparently I've been told that by a few people.
There's massive deposits of uranium in this country.
Oh, yeah.
And yet we've never discussed nuclear. Not really.
Power.
Yeah.
We're talking about it at the moment.
I know, but I think that'd be a good thing.
You like the idea of nuclear power?
Why not? It's much safer. It's much cleaner. Sorry, safer is probably not a good
yeah,
word.
but you got nuclear waste as well.
Yeah, we just shipped that off to China. They'll buy it. I'll just bury it in somebody's backyard. That's what happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you've been shipping your recyclables there for years now. 19.5 million
I was
tons.
thinking about that yesterday.
19.5 million tons or something like that. Murray price check. Not price check. Fact check.
Price check on recyclable shit.
19.5 million tons a year. Off to China.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So that's fucked
What do
up.
you think they're recycling? They're not. They're digging a big fucking hole.
Oh, I guess they are. Well, why are they buying it then? What are they going to do with it?
don't know. Build islands.
I know that one of the things that I do know, I'm pretty sure it's China. A lot of the coal that they're buying from us, they're just tipping it into the harbour for later on. Like,
it's hard to burn when
megatons
it's wet,
of it.
though. It's hard to burn when it's wet.
Yeah, but it'll keep until they want it. When it dries out.
Well, how much coal? Like, there's a whole
See,
show.
I've burnt coal in my fireplace, and I go, what's the fucking fuss about? Unless it was shit coal that I had. It didn't seem to last that long. I didn't.
We had coal as a kid.
Yeah, burn
In
it.
Dublin, we had a coal man. He used to come up the street in like a big truck with bags of coal, and people would buy bags of coal off the back of the truck. That's how
I know it does last longer, but I guess.
Kicks off quite a bit of heat too.
Yeah.
But then again, creates smog, which is why they banned it in Dublin.
Oh, I banned it everywhere.
But things in Ireland tend to get banned late.
Do they?
The rest of the world goes at shit, and we go, no, I'm not
Well,
sure.
I think it's illegal in Australia to, ironically enough, to burn coal domestically for your own use
So
in
here's
a
a
fireplace.
question. Here's a question for you.
I just incriminated myself, didn't I?
Can you buy coal?
No.
So you can't buy coal.
I can't buy.
I can't buy coal.
I can't go.
But the Australian government sells tons of it to China.
Yep.
What's wrong with
Fuck
this fucking...
tons of it to China, I think is the word you're looking for.
And India the Indians are opening a coal mile in Queensland. I can't remember what it's called. There's been a shitload of fucking protests about that. Danny?
Oh, Adani.
Adani.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, we know there's money to be made.
Well, that's it. Until globally, it has to be a global decision. It can't be just one government.
Well, it's either that. Well, see, I remember watching... I'm jumping around here, I know. But I remember watching an episode of Doctor Who, and it was probably made in 1971, 72, early 70s. And I'm not sure if it was Tom Baker or the one before him.
I'm much younger than you, so I wouldn't remember that.
What, one whole year. But who looks better? Who looks better? Who's greyer than who?
Yeah, I don't put makeup on before we come in here.
But,
Get Michelle to touch up.
you
You can't notice that double. You
touches
can
me
barely
out.
notice that double chin there. Little turkey neck going on. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
What was I just talking about? Oh, sorry, Doctor Who. Yeah, so in that show, I think it was the Doctor character that sort of said, that we're at this period in human history and we're still burning mineral sludge. That was something to that effect, and that was in the 70s, the 1970s. So nothing's changed,
Have we slowed down? Are we still are we still digging as much rock out of the ground as we can? It's a long way from Doomsday preppers, but okay.
I think it's all inclusive, but so I mean, my point there is we're still relying on 19th century technology for our power needs.
Yes.
Like 19th century.
So you agree with nuclear?
Yeah, nuclear creates.
So you want to go full?
issues.
You want to go full renewables, solar? Wind,
I didn't say I wanted
turbine.
to do anything. Well, I think it'd be good if we could, but I don't think it's viable at this point. Not quite yet. I think we're getting there, but not quite.
Okay.
I just don't think. Well, put it this way. Okay, so
the first thing to go will be a car. Cars will be the first thing to go.
Yeah, they want to do electric cars and stuff. But still, that's just a long tailpipe, isn't it? That just leads to the fucking the
bullshit.
power.
They go, we're just going to do electric cars. And they're all coal-fired power stations.
Exactly, as they call it, the long tailpipe. So, yeah, it's still ending up at the power station you plug it into. And do you think the oil companies are going to let that happen?
No.
Like people like...
But you couldn't do it in a city.
What's his name? Elon Musk. Because he's right behind all this sort of stuff. And I think we do need a visionary like him. If you could call him a visionary, I don't know. But someone who is, he's got ideas.
I've got ideas.
Yeah, but no one wants to hear about the big river. So...
the big river could work.
No, it could.
No, okay. We'll save that for another.
It could, but
podcast.
I have my doubts. Well, they did, cut the Suez Canal through, I suppose. I don't know if that helped with irrigation at all.
I don't know. I can't muddy the waters with facts.
Oh dear.
Elon Musk. See, the problem with electric cars is if you step out, they don't make noise. How many people are going to get run over because they don't hear the car coming?
Well, they still make some sort of noise, surely.
They don't.
No noise at all. They've got to make some kind of noise.
I've ridden an electric motorbike and it didn't make a sound.
Not a sound at all. Not even the tyres on the bitumen. Oh, fuck off. Make some kind of
Bicycles make more noise.
Put a deer scarer on it. That'll let the people know you're
what?
coming. A deer scarer. Or a deer thing. You get these things you put in your car, and then when you drive them, they whistle. And it's...
Why aren't they called whistles then?
Well, remember they're called a deer whistle. I don't know what they're called.
So I've heard about this for kangaroos.
Yeah, it's a similar thing. So
what's
they
called a
hear
deer
it
whistle?
coming... Well, because they use them in America as well, because deer do similar things. We've got plenty of deer here. Yeah, so what you drive now, and they hear it, and then they piss off.
Venison's deer, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. So might need some technology like that.
I heard a Jimmy Carr 2-word joke today.
Oh, which is it?
Dwarf shortage.
George, he got the shit for that.
Did he?
Yeah. The Dwarf Foundation, whoever they are, whatever they are.
Let's not piss them off.
Ask for an apology. I don't think he did.
What about the other one where Snow White goes into the police station and goes, "I've just been raped by 6 dwarfs. I'm not happy."
What were we just talking about? Oh yeah, that's right.
Dwarf whistles.
But see,
on
the
cars,
problem is too.
so you don't knock over dwarfs.
The problem is too when it comes to haulage as well with electric engines or electric motors.
You'd have to go electric trains.
Well, we've already got those, and we've had them for a long time. But
not going out to the bush. Not going long distances. Long distances are all still diesel.
Exactly. I mean, trucks and, freight by trucks and things like that.
See, that'd be the next thing. If Doomsday preppers, they'd start hijacking, robbing this stuff. We would turn on each other in an instant.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt it would be...
Our animal instincts.
Humans occasionally do surprise me. Only very
in the middle of the night and go, "Ha!"
No, I think we can come together sometimes, but most of the time I think we're...
Yeah, but you only come together with like-minded people. Other than people who don't think the same way as you do, you're like, fuck you, off you go. So that creates tribes.
This becomes a very deep topic. You can start... see, this is getting into philosophy and political philosophy, and I was like, oh god. And then they're starting about real communism and democracy, which is better and which is worse. And
I believe in anarchy.
Oh, yeah, that's going to work. That is anarchy.
I know.
Doomsday Preppers is anarchy.
I know, and that's where we're going.
But then it'll just coalesce back into a society anyway. Actually, it's a really good show. I don't know if you ever watch it. And there's probably several shows that have been sort of made using this sort of idea. In Deadwood, have you ever watched Deadwood? Show called Deadwood? No. Deadwood is a show in a real place, and real events happen there. And it was a town that kind of it's in America, and it sort of spontaneously came about because of a gold rush there. So the land itself was actually Indian land, which the government had promised or left to the Indians. Then these people just moved in and went, fuck that, there's gold here, we're just going to create a town and mine the gold and blah, 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 blah. But what the interesting thing, it was a lawless town. It was a lawless town to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay, so, had this town of no sheriffs, no government, no nothing. And then the society coalesced and became, I don't know if that's the right word, but then became... It developed its own society anyway. So someone did become sheriff, and then someone did
they dole out their own...
Well, it became a society
justice.
anyway. Yeah, and it all happened anyway through necessity. And I think that same thing would probably in the end would happen with Doomsday stuff.
So
if
pockets of humanity that survived would find each other
and just set up societies again, set up rules, regulations, governments, and it would just happen again. I mean, you look at history, you look at ancient history. Well, apart from ancient Rome, majority of those were even Rome was as well.
Everyone was overthrown eventually.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying that
we don't have to overthrow Britain.
Monarchies.
We don't have to overthrow Britain. They're doing it to themselves at the moment.
But you have monarchies. The king has the army wins the battle. The king becomes the ruler.
And he writes history of what the other people were like.
Yeah, and it's the same thing in ancient cultures as well. But however, in Greece and Rome, then they developed democracy and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's always going to be, I think, some kind of ruling doctrine. Is that a good word? Which will make...
Which will mean there'll always be a ruling class.
I think there'll always be... Actually, that's an interesting point. I think there'll always be a ruling class. Whether the ruling class is a bunch of inbreds, i.e. the Windsors... Well, that's a topic we should bring up one day. Though there's not going to be many arguments with that one between me and you.
No.
But,
Should we kill him? Yes. Okay. Let's move on. Next subject.
No, just don't kill him. Just abolish them. Just get rid of them.
Do you think that would work?
Dress them in rags.
Dress them in... They don't want to give a shit. The Queen would probably give a shit, but the new young guys, what are they called?
The young pup.
Yeah, the one that just got married to the American chick.
William. No, Harrison.
Harrison.
Harrison? What's his name? Harry.
Harry.
Prince Harry.
Like they're not interested in. They're not interested in the hierarchy of that, but eventually they.
No,
will.
you're not interested in the hierarchy when you're at the top.
They will eventually get there, though. They'll eventually turn into their father, Prince Charles.
What do you mean? I don't.
Well, Prince Charles is very staid and very.
He's a fuckwit.
Yeah. But the kids are like rebellion. But eventually they will turn in. Yeah, so they say everybody turns into their
Prince
father.
Harry's already kind of been through that.
Everybody turns into their father. Think about that one.
No, I'll never be that extreme. Yeah. No, I don't mind. Yeah. I don't mind Harry. I think it was alright. But he's fallen into line. He has fallen into line with the rest of them.
Was he the one in the Nazi uniform?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was probably not a good
Who
look.
Charles apparently isn't his real father.
That's that one. That's Princess Diane's love child. To was he a captain? He was a soldier or something.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, I'll
So
tell you what.
it could never have been a royal wedding.
There's a striking similarity, that's for sure.
If his mother wasn't a royal and his father wasn't a royal, then why did the royals pay for his wedding to the American girl?
Did they pay for it?
Well, it's a royal wedding. It's a state wedding.
Mm.
I prefer royal state
They
funerals.
got fucking plenty of money. I'm sure they could afford it. So, yeah.
What do you think? Preppers? You'd be one.
I'd
be a marauder.
Like I said, I'm a bit of a prepper already, I think, in some ways. I'd love to be totally self-sufficient. I think it'd be brilliant. And the main reason is because I fucking hate corporations.
I think I'd be a marauder.
A marauder?
I'd find people like you and just take your shit.
You don't believe in guns.
Don't need guns to take people's shit. I've got away with knives.
But, what was I going to say before that?
Wow, I break your concentration so easy. Must be as you get older, the synapses don't.
No,
snap
you do
as
it all
much
the
as they do.
time.
So what were you saying?
I don't remember.
You were talking about Prince Harry being a
No,
Nazi.
it's after that.
All the money they had.
No, after that.
Oh God, I can't keep up.
You can't keep up.
Preppers, you were going to be a prepper. You wanted to live self-sufficient, and I was going to maraud you.
Yeah, no, yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good to be self-sufficient. I think it'd be awesome. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, because I don't like corporations. Because corporations are greedy. Okay, I'll give you one example.
Woolworths.
Okay, we were just talking about just before. Yeah,
Evil.
Woolworths.
Never going to sponsor this show.
Our last water bill, our usage was $70.
Okay,
that was just me, Michelle. The rest of the $150 or $60 was all charges. So it was this charge, that charge, sewer charges, blah, blah, charge, fucking breathing charge, you know.
don't pay it. Break society down.
So
If everybody decides, go, fuck it, we're not paying it. We still need any water. If you don't give water, we're going to fucking burn your place down.
But-
Maybe that's what'll happen.
But it's things like that. And like, you know, companies are there to make money and to profiteer. If you can get away from those and provide your own power, your own water, your own everything, you know, like you can't even, you know, there's so many strict rules. And when we're looking at houses, we found this out as well. There's such strict rules with septic tanks as well.
What type of rules?
Strict rules.
Strict
rules. I only have one beer. Cider. Yeah, but they have to be inspected every...
half an hour.
6 months or at least 6 months, maybe a year. And it's just like, and you can't just irrigate your bloody, you know, if you lived on a farm, you couldn't just irrigate your land.
But isn't this all to do with the darling?
Oh, yeah, now there's an interesting topic.
There you go.
There's government policy going fucking mad while they're telling the rest of us to fucking do this and that. They collect your own water, or they will pump the fuck out of it to the Murray and have it dry as a nun's nasty.
Wow. I hit a nerve there.
Well, that is
I don't know.
appalling.
I don't know anything about it.
That much
I
about
don't know anything about
it. But what I do know is that the water's been siphoned off, sold off, whatever,
To whom?
to farmers or whoever paid for it. I'm not sure who paid for it.
China.
But they've I don't know. I think it was
Sending the
China.
water to China.
I don't think it was China. But yeah, but they've completely fucked an ecosystem through greed. Again.
But that's what the whole global community's done to the planet. We fucked the planet through greed.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree with global warming?
No, I don't agree with the global warming. I agree with...
Like, what's wrong with your speech all of a sudden? I agree with it.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just... again, it's corporations. It's greed. It's money. It's stuff like that. So electricity, water, you know, all those type of things. It's all about profiteering off people and making the most money you can out of them. And if you can get away from that and you can be self-sufficient, well, fuck, why not?
Yeah, I agree.
Good, we're not at an impasse anymore.
Well, we were never at an impasse.
So, that's pretty much the hour there. So,
There you go.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still listening at this point. Actually, this is what I'm going to say too. We should have said this at the beginning. Did I say this
No,
at the
you
beginning?
didn't. I thought you might.
Okay. So, we are considering going to maybe a half an hour show next week or the week after. Because we tend to find, apparently the average viewership on YouTube is about 7 minutes. So
We generally don't get to the subject by then.
no. So we're thinking about dropping the time back to about half an hour for each episode.
Yeah.
So we'd like to hear your thoughts on that, if you think that's a good idea or not. And let us know down the bottom there. So anyway, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next week.
And if you are a prepper, can you leave your name and address so when things do go to shit, we can come and rob you? Thank you very much for listening.
Bye.
Bye.